Hey guys, so as the video says, I am gonna hopefully give you guys some few art tips, just to hopefully improve your art and kind of just level up all together and just, be more confident in what you do. To start with, I'm just going to talk about equipment and materials. So some people like to use these kind of art pads or a bit more expensive pads where the paper is pretty thick and everything, but I just wanted to quickly tell you guys that you're all wrong. What you kind of see, if you use like a really, a nice line pen and you actually draw on the paper, you can see that once you've made a mark or something, it doesn't actually go through the paper. The ink actually stays just on this side and doesn't show up on the other side. Now, you actually want the ink to escape from the front side of the paper and go into the back. The reason the ink doesn't go through is because it becomes trapped in between the paper fibers in a sort of limbo. And I found that if it doesn't get released properly, it creates a sort of rift to another dimension, which sometimes can affect the balance of the world. So, you'll just have these annoying little chicken demons come and try and harvest your soul every now and then for the rest of your life. But as long as you flick them away before they enter your earlobes, you'll be fine. Anyway, I probably won't be using these papers. I'll probably actually just chuck them out because it's kind of like a lie everyone's been trying to feed you, and I just wanted to, do my part in the world and just get people to realize how wrong they are. What I'm actually going to use today is this really safe book. So it's got 64 pages instead of 15 sheets, and so that's just already a better value. I don't know why people like to throw their money away, but whatever. And just as a quick little demonstration, if you open it up and you draw on the paper, it actually goes through on the other side. So you see like that, that's what we want. That's really good. I'd actually honestly prefer if it escaped a bit more and it kind of put marks on the other page. That's a really safe signal. First things first I like to do is I like to sketch out what I'm going to draw. So any pencil is fine. I've just found this one. My heart is warm with the friends I make. So it's already got little cute quotes in it. It's already inspires me. I just need to quickly sharpen it. Ooh, lead tongue sometimes gets stuck in there. That's a sign for good luck. So now I'm ready to start sketching. So my idea is probably just going to be to start to sketch a dragon. So I'm thinking maybe having this more organic, fearsome dragon connecting with some metal parts, maybe some cyberpunk happening, because that's what I really like right now. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to draw a circle. I'm sure you can use lots of circle drawing tools, but the actual best one I've found lately has been, and it creates really precise circles, is using one of these. I'm not sure if anyone really knows what it is, but it's this really cool contraption that just goes around in circles for hours. So if you just put it on really fast and then just try and do a circle around it, it actually makes a really perfect circle, and I really like the outcome. It even has this nice little texture that it adds, and that's really nice. If you're not happy with this circle though and you want to redo it, I definitely suggest you rub it out. There's lots of different types of rubbers you can use. I found that these rubbers are really powerful. They're really good. Not only does it come in a pack of 4, but the good thing is, because they've got these expressions on their faces, you get to use the one that you feel like you're in the mood for. Sadly, there's no mood for pure and utter rage, so we'll just make this one angry, because you just need to sometimes, I don't think I'm ever going to be asleep when I draw. It's just not me. I don't like to draw when I'm asleep. So I just probably just make a rage one, just to express, if I'm not showing it on the outside, I can at least show it on the inside. So that's really good to know. So at the moment, I'm feeling pretty happy. So I'm going to use the happy one. Just going to rub out the top part again. If their face comes off, by the way, that's totally normal. Faces come off all the time. It's no big deal. Now this time we need a smaller circle. So with our circle drawing contraption, you have to kind of stab it in every now and then and kind of create those marks of where you want the nose to be. Sometimes it takes a couple of hours, that's totally fine. We'll get there. There we go. And we just need one more. Oh, perfect. So we're gonna have our snout on that angle and that wide. So we're gonna have the snout like that. We'll just join it up to this right here. Oh, perfect. So the eye will go here. Okay, so now that we're happy with our sketch, we can actually start to use some of the lining for it. Now, a little trick that some people don't know is that if your line is starting to get a bit like dry, you know there's some ink in there but you don't want to use it, a good technique that I found, if you just actually put the ink in water again, it actually kind of rejuvenates it. It doesn't damage it in any way. You just have to make sure it's on its last legs. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's on its last legs. There's like no more ink in there. So you just want to kind of make sure it's open and you just want to rest it in the water for a bit, you know, just kind of let it sit on the side and I think everything will be fine. And so while that is resting, while that's resting, we actually kind of want to then just grab another one that I bought in advance and then we're just going to start to do some outlines. A big smile and then we're just going to get rid of that and we're just gonna start to add all of these markings in. So now that we've finished with our outlines, we can actually use our rubbers. I'm really loving this right now, so we're just going to use the Love rubber just for a bit and just kind of get rid of all of these marks that we don't want. Perfect. And now we're on to coloring. So this probably needs, yeah, it still probably needs a bit more. It's still not wet enough. That's fine. So I found these amazing colored pencils where they're actually double-sided. So it means it's kind of like 2 for the price of 1. Yay! All those big brands like Derwent and Faber-Castell, you actually don't need any of those. They're all make the same product, which is pencils, and that's all you really need. When you start to draw with them, it's you kind of get a bit tired of always having to just swap the pencils around all the time. So what I like to do is I just like to snap them and then not have to worry about always turning them around all the time. So that's like really good. I'm going to go ahead and just do all that. Okay, so now we've got all our pencils organized and kind of just ready to go. Just before that, I just want to quickly add I did want to add some kind of cyberpunk elements, so I'm going to have some of these maybe as like pipes that are leading into his brain a bit, bolts every now and then everywhere. So for the color themes, black and white, and I'm gonna kind of have that as the pipe colors and just have those go all the way around through the body and just kind of intertwining, maybe some red under his eyes because he's, you know, a bit tired. Brown, green, honestly everything can work. Maybe even a bit of brown down through here. It's alright, we can use orange instead, that's close enough. Okay, that's totally normal. With the shading, so that's just kind of like getting the ideas for the base colors down. It's always nice to go back to using your lead pencil because it's kind of easier to smudge. Okay, so now that we've done all the shading and everything, what we're gonna have to do is blend now. So we're just gonna move those out of the way for now. Fun fact actually, a lot of you guys don't know that us Aussies, we don't use the typical kind of smudging tools that have been created. We actually use our traditional baby koalas as smudging tools because, you know, their fur is still really like soft and young, so it's really fine and actually really gets in all the grooves. So if we just, you know, use the faces to actually smudge things around, it actually really makes for a nice effect. He's totally happy about it. It's kind of like a massage for him. But if we just kind of keep going for around 10 minutes, you get a really soft effect. So now that we've finished our smudging, since we're pretty far into the picture now, sometimes people need a bit of encouragement. Maybe you'll start to feel a bit of art block or you kind of want to break. So that's really unacceptable. You have to always be working. You can't stop working. And so one thing that I make sure I always do is that I have these stamps just to remind myself that I'm really doing a good job. And you know, once you see it on the side, you kind of feel really inspired that like you're actually doing a pretty good job. So I'll just kind of put some of these kind of around here. Well done. Yeah, we know it's pretty well done, but it's good that the picture also knows that it's well done, you know, just kind of really making sure it understands this. Yeah. So now it's time for detail. It's pretty much our last step, and the tool I like to use the most is actually if you use baby faces. The shape of them and everything is really good. We don't want this bug baby, we just want a normal baby, so we'll just like quickly just, you know, rip off her wings. She doesn't need them right now. You know, the shape of her face is actually really a good shape to get all of those different scale markings or like the different tubes and everything. So if you just kind of work your way around the picture using her face, ignoring her body, only her face matters, it's gonna really stand out. And now you're done.